So we don't expect anything super dry.
Welcome to our casa, and today we're making Tuscan Ribollita. But before we get started, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on future videos. Ribollita is a bread soup from the region of Tuscany, and they call it a zuppa secca, which means dry soup. It's not very brothy. You put in some daiso bread into the soup and it soaks it up and it becomes this luscious, thick, almost like a stew. So, ultimate comfort food here. And one of the main ingredients is cannellini beans. So the cannellini beans are dried, so they do need to be soaked overnight. But if you're like me and you forgot to do that step, you can do a quick soak. Just put your cannellini beans in a pot of boiling water, let them boil for a minute, take them off the flame, and let them sit in the hot water for about an hour or so. That will do the trick for them. So let's cook some beans. In a stock pot over medium-high heat, we're gonna add some olive oil, 2 cloves of garlic, a sprig of rosemary, and our 12 ounces or 350 grams of our soaked beans. Now we cover our cannellini beans with water. We're gonna lower the flame, medium-low, and cover. Our cannellini beans are gonna take about an hour to cook here, so while we wait, let's prepare our sofrito and enjoy a glass of wine.
The wine we're drinking today, it's called Bolgheri. The name may not be super famous or remind you to a type of wine you drank already, but it's a very popular type of wine in the United States market. Bolgheri is a little hamlet. We're talking about less than 200 people live there, in the municipality of Castagneto Carducci in the province of Livorno in the region of Tuscany. We are drinking a Tuscan wine because we're eating a very famous and popular Tuscan dish. Bolgheri is a relatively young DOC wine appellation. It comes from the late 70s and the story is very interesting. In around 1978, the magazine Decanter organized a blind taste. During this blind test, Bolgheri, an Italian, the first Italian Bolgheri that was produced, called Sassicaia, which is very famous and prestigious right now, completely beat any other Bordeaux that was present in the wine tasting. So Bordeaux and Bolgheri are basically the same grape varietal. Cabernet Sauvignon that can be present 0 to 100%. We have Cabernet Franc that can be present 0 to 100%. We have Merlot as well, can be 0 to 100%. Then we have Sangiovese 0 to 50 and Syrah 0 to 50. On top of that, we can have a composition of maximum 30% of other local grape varietal. We can have 100% Cabernet Sauvignon made in the territory of Bolgheri and call it Bolgheri instead of Cabernet Sauvignon. All the wine that are produced in the municipality of Castagneto Carducci can be named Bolgheri as long as they respect the disciplinary for the composition of the blend. The wine we're drinking today is produced by a winemaker called Campo alle Comete. It is the second time we use this winemaker. First time was a Vermentino and it was fantastic. The composition of the blend is Merlot 50%, Petit Verdot, which we can consider a local variety, 20%, Syrah 20%, and Cabernet Sauvignon 10%. We are extremely happy to try this amazing wine. Thank you, Vias. Thank you, Antonello, for introducing us to these wonderful producers. And let's open it. Yes!
Mamma mia, mamma mia. And visit the website, which you can find in our description box below, because it is quite the unique, magical little experience. Let's check on the beans. All right, after an hour, the beans are ready. We're gonna take out that stem from the rosemary. We're gonna take out about, I would say, half of those beans. Set them aside in a bowl. It's not perfectly half, don't worry. We'll do one more for good measure. Okay, now these, they're gonna stay set aside for later. Now for the rest of your beans and that beautiful liquid, we're going to blitz it down, so. All right, once it's all blended down, we're gonna season. Let's add a nice pinch of salt there, maybe a little extra, and some fresh cracked black pepper. Give that a mix. Nice, look at that, it looks so creamy and beautiful. Now this is your bean broth. We're gonna use that as our liquid in our soup. Now, in an even larger stock pot, we're going to add olive oil. Get that flame at a nice medium-high heat. Now we start our base for our sofrito. Let's add 1 onion that we have very finely diced down. Now I have 2 carrots, 2 celery stalks, and 1 golden potato, also finely diced. We're gonna put that all in together. Now we're gonna add 4 whole peeled tomatoes. Right from the can is fine. I just wanna mash it down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna add that in. Now I'm gonna add 1 leek that is trimmed and chopped up. All right, we got our nice Tuscan kale. We're just gonna roughly chop up.
Looks like a lot, but as always,
it cooks down. Now we're gonna add our roughly chopped kale. I have about 2 bunches. Get this mixed up a bit. After a few minutes of mixing it around and the kale leaves are starting to wilt down a bit, got a little bit more room in that stock pot, we're gonna add only half of a head of Napa cabbage, just sliced up. All right, once your cabbage is all mixed in, now we add that beautiful cannellini bean broth. And if all of your ingredients are not fully covered, we're just gonna add a little bit of water in that pot that had your bean broth, just so we can get all of those beautiful flavors. And we're gonna add that in as well for some extra liquid. I'm also gonna add a few sprigs of fresh thyme and mix all that together. All right, once everything is nicely covered and mixed around, we're gonna keep that flame at a medium-low and cover and let it cook for 45 minutes.
You gonna enjoy it?
My wine again. And after 45 minutes, remember those beans we left to the side? Now it's time for them to go in. Nice stir. At this point, we're also gonna add some seasoning. Nice bit of salt there, a little pepper. Now, the fun part. Put our little pieces of toasty, garlicky bread in there. Gonna give a little bit of olive oil. Keep mixing. Oh yes, and that nice toasty bread, it's gonna become soft, but that toastiness, it's gonna give it a little crunch too. Once all of that bread is completely mixed in there, look at that, it already looks insane. We're gonna turn off our flame and cover it and let it sit for just 10 minutes so that bread can really absorb the beautiful broth and all of those beautiful flavors we just made.
La ribollita!
You know I love soup.
Okay, this is gonna be 300 degrees or 400 degrees?
My two favorite things in life. To eat. Bread and soup. You know I love soup. So mixing them together.
Fantastic.
Wow. And a little healthier besides the bread. That is good.
Oops, so delicious.
But that toasting just gave it a lot of flavor. Amazing. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on future videos. A cereal.